doing basically what we did before. So chain 5, going into our first chain, joining with a slip stitch, and then chaining 3 for our first double crochet. So we now have our little ring and our chain 3. So we need to put in 14 double crochets, and including the chain 3 will be 15 altogether. So putting 14 double crochets into your centre, and I'll catch up to you when I finish this bit. A chain 1 onto that same stitch. I want you to do a single crochet, and in each stitch around we are going to do 2 single crochets into each stitch. So just work your way around, doing 2 into each stitch. This is going to make our centerpiece larger than our second one that we had to make. When I say larger, I mean it's wider. Now you can make these in all different colours. I'm only making it in the one colour for demonstration purposes. Now if you've gone around there and you've only done one in one of the stitches, I mean, it's not going to matter. There's no exact science to this. As long as it lays flat, it's all good. So going into our first stitch, joining it with a slip stitch, we have an even bigger donut. So now we're just going to do our chain 10 thing. So chaining 10. Going into our next stitch, joining with a slip stitch, and then chaining 10, continuing that all the way around, and this time there will be more petals because we have increased on our second round. Okay, I've finished my last chain 10, and I'm slip stitching back down into the next stitch. Remember how I said you may not have another stitch? Well, that's happened to me now, but it doesn't matter. Go in down into the next stitch, which has already got one coming out of it, but it doesn't matter, you're not going to see it, and just slip stitch down into there. Cutting your yarn and pulling up. And sewing in your ends when you can find your needle. It's a bad thing when you lose a needle because you don't know where it's gone, and you'll normally find it with your bottom when you sit on it and stab yourself. So always put it somewhere safe. We have our third one. This one looks a bit like some sort of sea creature. So we have our 3 different sizes there. Can't really fit them all in. So of course we get our biggest one at the back, middle sized one in the middle, and our small one at the front. And then we sew them all together. And of course I've just realised that I should have left that tail reasonably long on our 3rd one so that we can sew them all together. Not to worry, just cut off a bit of yarn and threading it. I think I need a bigger eye on this needle. Threading that one. Now I'm just going to tie it onto the back. I've just threaded it through. Just tying a knot. Which I don't normally like to do, putting knots on things, but not to worry, it's going to be on the back so you won't see it. So getting them all lined up properly. You can use your needle if you need to, put it through the middle of the 3 holes. Get them all lined up. Not sewing this bit, just lining them up. See, they're all lined up there. And now going through all 3 layers. And going back down through all 3 layers again. Just work your way around. You don't have to be an expert sewer to do this bit. You're just making sure you're going through all 3 layers so that they are secure and they don't fall off when you're walking down the street or something. Or you give it to a friend and then it falls apart. Should be embarrassing. So making sure, if you don't know, just give it a bit of a tug and it's all secure, so that's good. Make sure it's all attached. You can just keep going around until you use up all your yarn if you want. Fake gems that you can buy. They look pretty groovy in the middle there. It's not nice and sparkly. So just sewing in your ends when you're finished. And if you're going to sew this to a beanie or a blanket, a scarf, bag, etc., etc., leave that tail on there because you can use that to sew it to your project. So here we have our flower. Might just need to sort out the petals a little bit there. And you can have it flat. Or you just sort of scrunch it up a little bit. It kind of looks like one of those chrysanthemums.